my name is Lexi Jong, and here I like to talk about luxury makeup. Today we are talking about the new Hermes blushes. So I ordered from Selfridges as soon as they became available. I actually ended up ordering all 8 of the blushes. There is a 9th shade, Rose Poivre, which is an Asia exclusive shade. It's also available in Canada. So I do not have that one, but I have the other 8. However, only 6 of my 8 have arrived so far. So by popular request, we are going to do swatches of those. And I have tried 2 of the shades on right now. So I have a little clip showing that. Let me show that right now, and then we'll come back and talk a little bit more about these products. On my skin, I have a little bit of the Jones Road face pencils, along with the Givenchy Prisma Libra Skincare and Glow Foundation. And then I just have a light dusting of the Givenchy Prisma Libra powder in #1, Mousseline. And I thought we would go ahead and we're going to use Rose Tan as a bronzer and then Rose Pommette for the blush today. So this is Rose Tan and it's untouched right now, so take a good look. I did pick up the Hermes blush brush, the full-size one. However, I washed it as soon as I got it, so, you know, that's drying. So we're going to use the Chikahodu F04 brush, and let's get started. So all I did was just dab it here. You can see how much pigment comes up. And let's see. Well, on my skin, I mean, you can see that right away. So that's Rose Tan. All right, so I put a little bit less on that side. You can see it's a little bit less intense, but this shade definitely works for a bronzer, for me at least. So just something to note there. Just gonna buff this a little bit. And if you look at this, you can see, you know, you've still got the full imprinting. I barely had to touch this to get the amount of pigment that I needed for the bronzer. Now this is number 32, Rose Pommette. And I'm going to go ahead and stick with the same brush series. So this is the F03 from Chikahodu. And again, untouched. Take a good look. So just dabbing on here, and you can see a little powder dust kick up, but again, it looks still pretty darn perfect. Let's see how this applies. Get a little bit more on the brush. You can see it came up easily. So that is Rose Pommette. Okay, and let's try the other side here. All right, so we've got Rose Pommette and Rose Tan. Rose Pommette and Rose Tan. And I'm just going to top that off with the, this is the Lip Enhancer in Rose Abricote. And I had a little bit of that already left on my lips from earlier. So you can see it had already like worn off, but there may have still been a little bit of pigment from that. So you can see as it gets on my skin, it gets a little bit darker, brighter, turns more pink than it looks in the tube. And you can actually see, looking at the tube, everywhere that it has kind of come in contact with my lips, it's a little bit darker. So it is a little bit of a pH activated product there. And, you know, it's soft. You can see it has deformed a little bit towards the tip, but it's not so soft that, you know, like the sugar brand, the fresh sugar lip balms, you know, those are like really soft, almost shouldn't be in a bullet form. These are not that soft. So this is the look then with the Rose Pommette and the Rose Tan. And Rose Pommette, Rose Tan, Rose Abricote lip enhancer on my lips. So I hope that was helpful. Before we get started on the swatches, let me just show you how these come packaged. So this is the packaging for the blush, and this is untreated paper. It's made from recycled paper. The blushes are 6 grams or 0.21 ounces, and they are made in Italy. Just like with the other Hermes packaging, you have the little peek through window here that shows you the orange Hermes. Inside, it reminds you that the closure is a magnetic closure. And then we have the orange pull-through box. And then here is the actual compact. So it is a round compact. You have the Hermes logo here. You've got the brushed gold on the back. And these have a 12-month shelf life. When you open it up, there is a piece of plastic covering that up. This one here is number 45, Rose Ombre. And you do have a mirror here. Now, notice that the pan and the mirror are both off center. On the back of the compact, you'll see a hole here. So these are refillable and you can replace the pans. As I have seen online though, these are glued in. So there is some glue adhering the pan in. So it's not something like buy one compact and easily trade out all of your pans, you know, whenever you want. So just something to note there, that I'm not sure whether it's actually magnetic inside or not, but it is not going to be something that you can easily remove and replace frequently. Let's get started on the swatches. So I'm just going to swatch these 6 blushes that I have here today. And then when the other 2 come, obviously I will follow up with those. And in the meantime, if there are any particular comparisons or anything that you would like, please leave those down below in the comments or DM me on Instagram. I'm at Alexis Jong, and I will do my best to accommodate. If I have the particular blush you would like a comparison with, I will definitely, you know, be sure to do that. All right, so we're going to start off with number 23, Rose Blush. '28, Rose Plume. 32, Rose Pommette. 45, Rose Ombre. 49, Rose Tan. 61, Rose Feu. 'So from the top, we have Rose Blush, Rose Plume, Rose Pommette, Rose Ombre, Rose Tan, Rose Feu. I'm going to take the Sonia G Detail Pro Brush, and this is Rose Feu. So I'm just going to get a little bit of powder up on the brush. And let me just show you how this one applies. So you can see how softly they go on. So if you're trying to build up the color, you're going to use something a little bit more dense. I'm just going to take the Esom V29 into the same shade This is technically an eyeshadow brush, but you know, I'm trying to do something a little bit smaller. This is synthetic as well. Okay, so we got more here on the brush. So just to show you how soft and sheer these can actually be. So just going over that swatch with the Detail Pro. You can see that it does build, but it's very light. So just a few things that I have noticed just in this short time that I've had them. These, you know, the magnets obviously are at the front, and if you place it like a little bit off center, they will spin so that the Hermes logo does stack up with it. This top piece here feels like plastic. I don't know, it feels like it could scratch easily. So I don't know, we'll see. So I think the top is plastic. The bottom though, you know, has more of that brushed metal feeling to it, but you know, it's plastic on the inside. It's probably just like a little coating. But I did want to note that this is plastic and I don't believe it is a ceramic top, which is kind of what I thought it was originally. All right, and one last thing that I would like to mention, I do think if you're trying to build pigmentation with these blushes, I would definitely go for something with more of the angled shape because it has a little bit less flex and give because of the angled shape, and it's typically going to be a little bit more dense. So if you purchased the new Hermes full-size blush brush, that feels like it would allow you to get a more pigmented look from the blushes compared to something that is more round like the F03 that I used with Rose Pommette today. So between the two of these, I don't think it's merely a difference between the shades, but I think the brush shape has a lot to do with it. So if you're trying out a shade that you purchased and it's just going on too lightly, definitely try an angled brush. Another thing to note, I've already tested a little bit the synthetic versus natural hair bristles. Natural hair is definitely picking these up better. So I would personally recommend using a natural hair brush instead of a synthetic if you're having issues with pigmentation as well. As for the texture, going onto my skin, everything felt smooth. There were no patchy spots. It blended very nicely and it was very easy to use. With finger swatches, you can really feel that is a very silky, fine milled formula. It felt really nice. So those are current first impressions. I'm not going to give any further, you know, likes or dislikes at this time because obviously I've just used it once. But I will have a full review on these blushes along with comparisons and the additional 2 shades that haven't arrived yet very soon. So make sure to stay tuned for that. Now I have also purchased the Rosy Lip Enhancer in Rose Abricote, which is on my lips right now. And I will have a review of this coming up soon as well. I just want to test it for a couple of more days to fully form my opinion. So one more time with the swatches, we have Rose Blush, Rose Plume, Rose Pommette, Rose Ombre, Rose Tan, and Rose Feu. So these are 6 of the 8 shades, or 6 of the 8 permanent regular shades from the new Hermes blush line. And again, if you have any specific comparison requests, please be sure to let me know down below in the comments or DM me on Instagram. I'm at Alexis Jong. And that sums everything up for today. So I will see you very soon. Have a great day and stay safe and healthy.